Hello, I'm back here again. The reason I'm here today is because I heard the other day a comment made, which really was interesting, and I hadn't really thought about it much. And somebody was commenting, I can't remember exactly where or who, that there's a lot of YouTubers that like to talk about aquariums, but never showcase their own personal aquariums. And I just had to stop and think about that one because I don't think I've properly done a tank by tank tour of my fish room in a long time. So that's why we're here. I'm not going to do all of them today. There's no way I could possibly do that without making this like a 2-hour video. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to break it up into sections. And I'll take it by racks is probably what I'll do this. So we'll start with the first one today, and I'll quickly show you what's on there and kind of explain what I'm doing as far as the setup, the stocking, and the filtration that's going on in there. So with that being said, let's get started. All right, this is the first rack that I'm going to talk about. You're going to see these tanks exactly how they are. I have not scraped any glass. I have not done anything other than a water change last week, I believe. And so you get to see them raw and unadulterated, my setups. What's interesting about this rack, this is the first one I actually build on caster wheels so that I can roll it in and out when I need to get to the back of these aquariums. That was an issue that I came across when I first started building my fish room, that was sort of an issue when I would have stuff that would either fall or, just that you needed to get access to the backside. And it really became a task because I had to remove the aquariums, move the rack to be able to get access to it. This allows me to just drain the aquariums and then move it forward. Granted, some people were worried about the fact that, that's going to break over time. I'm not moving these every day. It's just periodically, if I ever have to do anything, get in there, clean, or I need to paint the wall, or whatever the case is. This allows me to have access to the backside relatively easy by just simply draining the aquarium. Some people say it's going to tip over because of the weight. Well, obviously I'm going to drain them. It's not like I'm going to move them full of water. But anyways, up here what we have is a 50-gallon lowboy, and down here is a 125, I believe. They're both 48 by 24 as far as the front and the depth. The height on this one, I want to say it's like 26, somewhere around there. I don't recall off the top of my head, but it's the same profile as my 150, except the 150 is 30 inches tall. And this one, I think it's about 4 inches shorter, something like that. So it's like a 125, somewhere around in there. But anyways, up here, what I have was a kind of, would be one of my ones where I actually put a little bit of thought into scaping it and what I wanted the outcome to be. And in here what I have is some multifasciatus neolamprologus, better known as Shelleys. And I don't know if I'm going to scare them as I get closer so you guys can see them. But what's really fascinating about these guys is that they'll spend their entire life right in the water column where you see them. And they'll occupy these little shells that you see in here. And that's what they'll make their homes. As you can see, they don't get very big. These are African cichlids, and they do prefer a high pH and a lot of hardness in their water. This tank, I'm not running a filter in it. Okay, let me rephrase that because that's a misnomer. It has filtration. The filtration is biological. It's everything that is growing on the surfaces of the rocks, the plants, the gravel. Everything in here has beneficial bacteria that helps with the nitrogen, with the consumption of nitrogen, plus the plants. Obviously, the plants is the other one. I also have some house plants that I'm starting to get into this, and I'm trying to learn about growing these, and those are also helping with the removal of nitrates from the aquarium. So in here, like I said, I have these multis. I started out with a colony of about 10. I got these from Mike Coleman up there in Phoenix. And I've gone through the period of selling some of these already. Currently, I have no idea how many are in here, because not only do I have them here in the front, I'm realizing they're hiding in the backside of this rock retainer wall that I kind of built on there, and so they're all over the place in here. So for me to really get an accurate count is nearly impossible. But I know they're there. They're thriving. They're doing well. Anytime I feed is when I'll start really getting an idea how many of them are in here, because they'll start coming out of the woodworks. I was very surprised. I've known that these guys like to rearrange their substrate, but as you guys can see, I'm starting to get some jungle val growing up in their home areas. Additionally, the reason I built the wall of rocks was because I wanted to have the backside completely planted, and of course some anubiuses that don't require substrate kind of up in the front, but they really haven't messed too much with the plants. And it seems like they're doing okay. I haven't had any issues with this. I'll do a water change maybe every 2 weeks or so, and that's pretty much it. That's the 50-gallon lowboy with my shell rollers, or the Neolamprologus multifasciatus. All right, so this one is got a little bit of an identity crisis. The reason I say that is because I didn't know exactly what I was going to do with this aquarium. As you can see right now, I have a colony of swordtails in here, but this one hasn't been thriving as I would have liked it, because I had a tilapia in here, and I kind of intentionally had him in here. Actually, he was in here before the swordtails were added in, and one of the reasons, or my thinking behind it, was I didn't want to get overrun with fry. You know, anybody that's kept live bears knows that live bears in general are very prolific and are dropping fry all the time. But I'm finding out that swordtails are not quite like that. And so I removed the tilapia, put them in the 150. I don't know if I'm going to keep that guy for a long time, or what the deal is going to be with him. He was kind of given to me with an aquarium. And so I kind of took him in, not really knowing what I was going to do with him. The only reason I have a problem with the tilapia is because, as you guys will tell, I like to keep plants. And most fish that eat my plants, I don't have a lot of room for them in my aquarium. I don't necessarily dislike them. I just don't find them to be a fit for me. So that's what we got going in there. Like I said, this one it's a dirted tank. This is not set up as a plenum. This is, I kind of roughly scaped it, but because now I want the fry to actually start growing out, I've kind of put a lot of hornwort, while my rest of the other plants. That's the other thing. I was putting plants in here, and the tilapia was having a feast with them, and I couldn't keep anything that was like a stem plant. Even the jungle val, he was eating all of that. So I found out the hornwort was something that he would stay away from, or at least that would be like his last option. So he left that alone. But now that's why I have it in here. I'm really trying to get some of the fry. I know I've seen a couple of fry in here. It's going to be hard to see right now, but I don't have the numbers that I wish I did. But I'm starting to see fry, which is good. Sometimes they're hanging out. Oh, there's like one right there. Right. Nope. There he goes. So I'll spot them here and there, and hopefully I'll start getting some more and get those growing out. So this is the first two tanks. Like I said, it's a 50 gallon and a 125. And what's unique about this rack is the fact that it's on casters, and I can roll it in and out. So there you have it. That's a look at some of my aquariums. Oh, the filtration on the 125, I'm running a sponge filter right now. The aquarium originally came equipped with sump filtration, but I'm not running sumps anymore. They just take up too much room, and I really have no need for it. The reality is this aquarium here will probably eventually go just biological only too. I've only set this up since I moved the fish room around, so It hasn't really had a chance to mature, in my opinion. And once it gets a little bit more established, probably about a few more months, I might turn it off. And the only thing you're going to see, you'll see air in these aquariums, especially when the temperature starts getting warm, but it'll just be air stones, just so that I have some oxygenation happening in the aquarium. Because anybody that's been watching my channel for a little while now knows that my tanks in the summer run high 80s, low 90s, which is not the most ideal temperature range for these fish. But, you know, it is what it is. Until I get an AC unit put into the garage, that's going to be the situation. So I do run some fans, and they manage to bring down the temperature. But when we hit those temperatures that are consistently 114, 116 out here in Arizona, it doesn't matter. Unless I'm running AC, it's not going to change. So with that being said, hopefully you enjoyed that. Based on you guys' reaction on this will be whether I continue to do it this way or not. I've done where I kind of show you all the aquariums, but never really talked about what's in them. So hopefully you enjoyed this. Take care, and I'll see you on the next one. Bye.